Okay, those are stupid bright. Holy, wow, man, wow. Hello everybody, and welcome back to another Bad Luck Garage product review. Today we are going to be installing and reviewing LED headlights for both the high beam and low beam from a company called Oxbeam. Now you guys may remember I had actually reviewed a set of LED lights in our Turbo C10 a while back. Well, this company actually reached out to me right after I made that video and offered to send me some lights. The problem I had at the time is that we had just upgraded the lights in the Turbo C10, and I actually reached out to a friend and asked if he'd like for me to install some free LED lights in his truck. He did not want to do it at that time, so I've kind of had this company on the back burner for a few months now. But when we got the Corvette, all it took was driving it at night one time and realizing just how horrible the headlights were in the C5 Corvette. I got back a hold of these people, and I actually just wanted a set of low beams, but they were kind enough to send me a set of 9006s to replace my low beams and 9005s to replace the high beams in our C5 Corvette project. So before we install them, I'm going to go ahead and open the box on one of them and kind of go over what they are, what they do, and how they look to me. Okay, so I've got the box open on the 9005s, which is our high beam. And this is what they claim to be. They claim a pure white 6500K, bright as sunlight. Okay, so that's the color temperature, 6500. And for those of you who don't know, 6500 should be about as white as you can get. It almost borders on a slight hint of blue. Generally, I prefer to stay around the 6000K range, but you know what? Beggars can't be choosers, guys, and this is a sponsored video, so we're going to take what we get and review it. They're supposed to be simple plug and play. You can see here, it actually has the little prongs so it can slip into your factory headlight slot, and then it just plugs into your factory harness. And finally, they claim that you will get up to 50,000 hours without color fading. And guys, that is a lot of nighttime driving. So as little as I drive at night, we may never have to replace these unless we have a failure. All right, now looking at the bulb, the first thing I notice is the last set of LED headlights that I installed were actually three-sided. These are only two-sided. Now, I'm not an expert, guys. I don't know which is better, but I have actually seen a couple videos on YouTube lately where they were saying the three-sided LEDs are a waste. I don't quite understand why, but it's got something to do with light refraction. But anyway, supposedly all you need is the two opposite sides. One other feature that I noticed about these that I did not have on the last set I tested was the cooling fan. The last set I tested just had a solid heat sink here. This one actually has a heat sink, and it also has a cooling fan. Now, I've heard you can hear these pretty good when you turn your headlights on. Not this particular brand, but that is something that I've heard from other reviews. But I don't think that's going to bother me. I mean, I'm going to be inside the car, and honestly, I don't really care if I hear a fan noise under my hood or not, because there's already several fan noises under the hood of the C5. So, all right, guys, that's pretty much it for the visual inspection and the feature review. I do want to say I will be placing a link to these, and if they should happen to offer any kind of discount, I will update that in the description of the video. Now, one thing I did actually notice is that this GoPro has an ability to somehow make the crappy stock headlights look somewhat decent. I actually noticed this when I was doing the video on the C10. The difference didn't look that dramatic on video, but in person it was like two whole different worlds. I'm sure it has something to do with the color correction or light correction on the GoPro, But I will say this, in person, the light coming out of these headlights is very dim and kind of orangish looking. You know, it's a really dirty light, guys, so we're going to fix that right now. Now, this is not an installation guide, this is a product review, but if you are doing this on your C5 Corvette, it's important to note that the outer beam is actually your low beam and will get the 9006 bulb. The inner beam is your high beam and will get the 9005 bulb. Just wanted to throw that in there in case anyone was wondering. That is a huge difference. This is the high beam and this is the low beam. And I think you guys can see the difference. You can definitely hear the fans running up here, but it's not really loud, guys. I mean, honestly, you've got to get right up on it to actually hear it. It doesn't sound like a cooling fan. It, you know, like a car, an automotive cooling fan. It just, you know, it's a slight little hum, almost like a computer fan in the background. But we do have an issue. Apparently, these lamps are wired in reverse polarity to what my car's wiring system is. Now, I'm not sure if that's just something on my car or if it's something on every car and something that the manufacturer of these lights needs to address. The reason that's an issue is because, as you can see, there's a little clip or a little peg right here on this side. Well, on your clip coming from the car here, you have this catch. And that catch is supposed to wrap over that clip to keep the headlights securely plugged in. The issue is when you plug it in that way, no headlights. You have to flip it over and plug it in backward. And, you know, I mean, they seem fairly secure, but I am worried that after driving and a lot of vibration, it may work itself loose. So, you know, we may do a long-term test on this and, you know, kind of see if it comes apart in the future. But for now, I'm going to roll with it. There is a lot of wire length hanging here, but I don't think it's going to be an issue with anything when the lights open or close. So I'm not going to worry about it unless I start hearing a rattle or something. If I do, then what I might do is kind of zip tie these together, especially since, you know, these aren't going to be clipped together because of the reverse polarity thing. So Oxbeam, if you're listening, you need to take care of that, guys. I mean, that's that's not acceptable. I'm definitely giving that part of it a thumbs down, but light output seems to be just outstanding. Now I'm going to put this side together. We're going to swap out the bulbs in this side, go back outside, and do a comparison video. Okay, guys, so this is actually the low beam of the stock headlight bulbs, and this is the high beam. And now you can see the LED lights. That is low beam, and that is high beam. Huge. Like, these things are bright as hell, guys. Actually using my son as a camera mount. I just wanted to take this thing down the road because it was very hard to see with the factory lights. So yeah, this is way better. This is way better. So this is low beam and that's high beam. What do you think, Skylar?
It's good.
It's not quite as bright as the HID lights that are in our 2011 Camaro, but they are way brighter than they were. Like, I could probably actually aim these up a little bit, and that would help too. These lights are definitely an improvement over the stock lights, but I want to go over some issues that I had. The first issue is the reverse polarity, and I think this may be an issue on my car. I don't know if it's like this on every car, but on the driver's side of my C5 Corvette, I actually had to plug the headlight sockets in the opposite direction they were supposed to be on these. But the funny thing was, on the passenger side, I was able to plug them in the way they were supposed to be plugged in, and they worked. So Oxbeam, if you're listening, I don't know if this is a specific thing to the Corvette, maybe the way it's wired or something like that, but If this is an issue on other cars, and if any of you guys have ever used these Oxbeam lights, I would like to hear from you in the comments. If this is an issue on every car, then I think what Oxbeam should do is most likely, I mean, the best thing to do would be to wire the polarity different on every other light. So you would have two lights in here, and the polarity would be wired opposite on them, and they would be side specific at that point. Because one thing I am worried about is that after vibration occurs from driving down the road and things like that, I'm afraid that the headlights on the driver's side may work themselves loose, and really the only remedy I have at this point to fix that would be to take my receptacles in my wiring harness on my car and actually reverse the pins on both harnesses on the driver's side. I could do that. If I have a problem, that's what I probably will do, but like I said, if they would wire these lights opposite of each other, then that wouldn't be an issue. The second issue I had is not really the fault of the lights. On these Corvette headlights, it has this really thin tin type bracket that these have to plug into and twist. And guys, it was a nightmare getting these seated in those little brackets. As a matter of fact, I'm still wondering if the high beam on the passenger side is actually going to stay in there, especially with the lights going up and down as they do when you turn them on and off. It doesn't feel very secure in there. I actually messed with that one bulb for probably 20 minutes trying to get it to seat, and I was not able to get it to seat any more securely. But again, I don't think that's an Oxbeam thing. I think that is a Corvette retaining bracket thing. So not going to put that on the lights. We're going to put that on GM. These bulbs, like, some of them were installed at slightly different angles than the others, but they still somehow managed to produce a flat beam. I don't know if that has to do with the reflectors and refractors in the Corvette headlights themselves, or if it's by design of these headlight bulbs. But whatever it is, it seems like it's going to work good. I do want to adjust my headlights up just a little bit, but you know, I'm getting that flat line across both lights, so I'm really happy with that. I think once I adjust them up a couple feet, these things are they're going to be amazing, guys. A lot of the times when I get these bulbs sent to me, this is the part where I'm completely honest. When these bulbs are sent to me, a lot of the times I look at them, and when I look them up online, so I can tell you guys what the pricing is on them, I think to myself, there is no way in hell I would spend that much money for these. And I think I may have actually made that comment in my last review that I did on a set of headlights from a different company. However, I can't say that about these. When I looked these up on Amazon, at the time that I made this video, these lights are only $29.99 a set, guys. And you know, if you look at the fact that if you go to Walmart or somewhere like that, or especially an auto parts store, and you try to upgrade to some Sylvania Silver Stars or something like that, guys, those things are $40 to $50 a set. So for $30 a set, you get probably more light output than, well, definitely, because I think my Corvette actually had Silver Stars in it, and it was still that bad. So, it had them in the low beam, not in the high beam. But anyway, guys, that's a hell of a deal. So for $60, you can do your high beam and low beam. These do carry a 1-year warranty. I'm just going to end this by saying I do recommend these. And again, there will be a link to these in the description of this video. If you like this video, if it helped you out, be sure to give it a thumbs up. Share it with a friend, share it on some forums. As I always say, get out in the garage, get something done, and I'll see you next time here on Bad Luck Garage.